Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm Sylvester here, the cat here, and I'm from the likes of the Maxi Toys here now as well. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Mario Kart 8 / Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, as we're going to be playing for the sake of this Let's Play for the Nintendo Wii U / Nintendo Switch. So, last time we did manage to completely done with the first cup in Mario Kart 8, which appears to be the Mushroom Cup. And today for this episode is the fact that we're about to be doing the second cup in Mario Kart 8. Now will have to be by the forms of the Flower Cup. So either way, once again we have to go do this on 150cc class because, you know, we're up for the challenge and all that stuff. But to be honest, that we've already mentioned about this ever since in yesterday, that I feel like 150cc might be a little bit of a cakewalk on the forms of the Switch version than the forms of, well, the Wii U version most likely. But either way though, for the character selection choice this time, we're about to be selecting Luigi today. Because either way, we did already selected one of those small type of characters, like specifically, you remember in the previous episode from the likes of the yesterday that we did manage to select Toad, much like the forms of how it does it on the previous Mario Kart Let's Plays, so that we figure we can able to start off with Toad first, and then after that, I think it was probably best to say about the fact that we'll still save Mario for last, because you know, his name was on the title, so either way though, we're just about to able to actually save him up, and join whenever we get to later on. So, anyways though, let us get to the forms of the Flower Cup here. Those tracks usually consist of, Mario Circuit, Toad Harbour, Twisted Mansion, and finally Shy Guy Falls. So either way though, we're able to actually accept that. And of course we got ourselves able to actually unlock ourselves the Peach Carousel gliding, gliding parts for right now. So even then because, like the forms of how it does it on Mario Kart 7, that the more you collect those coins after when you finish the races themselves, you would able to actually unlock yourselves the forms of those, card parts. So, yeah, definitely keep that in mind, because either way though, that, you know, it plays exactly like how it did in Mario Kart 7, except, well, you know, it's entirely in HD and stuff. So, yeah, to kick things off, let's get to it with the forms of the first track in the Flower Cup, and that will have to be Mario Circuit. In fact, kind of think about it though, the actual track layout, it almost exactly feels like a actual shape of number 8, because, you know, this is the 8th entry in the Mario Kart series. So either way, yeah, between those three tracks, although we'll explain more on that later though, because either way, today's day is the forms of the 6th of October in 2019. So, you know how the fact that, as far as we already mentioned about this before, about the fact that we might actually take a break on this until two weeks time, because you know how the fact that next, next Saturday is going to be the conclusion for the Super Mario Galaxy 2 redo Let's Play, and then sure enough that will be settled. As well as from that, I need to get back onto Kingdom Hearts Final Mix and join next Sunday. So either way, chances are that's as far as whoa! Okay, I'll take the invincibility frames any day. Well, not necessarily invincibility frames per se, but it's more accurately, it's like a invincibility state, which either way, if I manage to get hit by the red shell, while the blue shell managed to come over at the same time, this means about the fact that I don't even get double hits. So even then though, it's a pretty cool strategize or something like that, but either way, it's hard to explain about this kind of situations like this for this point, people, because I know for the fact that we're still not in the right mood at the moment. Well, not necessarily bad compared to the forms of how it does it on my Kingdom Hearts Final Mix video, and that was the fact that I'm very sad to say for that. I'm pretty sure Alpha Dream is now pretty much going to be closed due to the bankruptcy, which either way, I'm extremely disappointed. Which either way, I think this might be something to do with the remakes on the 3DS didn't sell that well compared to its original titles for, you know, the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, as well as the Nintendo 3DS. Well, to be more specifically, Dream Team Brothers, as well as Paper Jam Brothers. But as far as remakes, as far as I'm concerned, well, they don't sell that well, because, you know, no matter what though, we've already seen these games before, but they made it remade it from the ground up or something like that. I don't know, it's hard to explain about this sometimes, Sonic. Yeah, I know that, Sylvester. Especially how the fact that we really looking forward to whenever when they're gonna do next for Mario and Luigi series, but unfortunately things did not work out due to the actual bankruptcy issues. So, but let's not mention about that completely for that point though, because next track we're gonna be racing into is Toad Harbour, which is actually inspired by somewhat of a New York aesthetics and all that stuff. Like we got ourselves the as you can see on the actual environment from the actual, well, not so much right now because we're actually going to be driving around, you know, almost at the forms of somewhat in the USA kind of version of the Toad City or something like that. But either way, though, I just want to point things out. So either way, as you can see, because of how the fact that, you know how I still even remember back in the day that it might actually still continues even to this day, especially when the future games come by, that there's actually a special meme about the forms of the actual Luigi's Death Stare. That was actually incredibly popular back then, because either way, especially in 2014, when this game did first came out on the Wii U, most people seem to able to upload a lot of those, in fact, kind of thinking about it though, speaking of uploading some stuff, I even remembered about the fact that we did manage to first upload this on the forms of the Mario Kart TV YouTube uploading schedules for that time back in 2014. Do you remember that? Yeah, as a demonstration of how this thing actually works. But unfortunately though, for us though, is the fact that not only does the actual well, to be more specifically, we did demonstrate that on the Swamp Ruins kind of thing about it, so just in case if we can see of how the quality itself actually worked out. And not until when it gets to the point until later on in 2015 and onwards, I'm afraid to say, is the fact that we can no longer upload some of these video YouTube clips on Mario Kart 8, you know, YouTube clips and stuff like that anymore. Which also can't be the same applies for Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and stuff like that, because, well, I just don't see why they just managed able to remove that feature, so... But anywho though, a few things I want to explain about this before we're able to mention about that specific stuff is that, well, recently about the fact that we actually got ourselves our, well, not necessarily we actually got at this point in time, because either way though, we did manage to able to pre-order ourselves Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 recently for the Nintendo Switch. Because, you know, we feel like we can able to actually pre-order that game until whenever we start to be doing that particular Let's Play of the game. Oh, I don't think so, Mr. Blue Spiny Shell. Because yes, that's what the Super Horn does manage to able to rock, especially because of how the fact that it is super useful, especially if you really want to aim for first place in all of the races in mind. So, you can see there's actually a statue of Peach right there, which is actually inspired by the Statue of Liberty on the New York, or in this case, United States of America. Yeah, which is really cool though, especially because, you know how the fact that America was actually somewhat of a bigger country compared to our country at the state, but either way though, we're able to actually point that out, so... Anyways though, the next track we're going to be racing onto is Twisted Mansion, which appears to be, once again, a spooky themed level, just like in Luigi's Mansion from, you know, Mario Kart DS, as well as some spooky themed tracks from the likes of, you know, Super Circuit, and also same applies for Binchy Boardwalk from Super Mario, no, what did I say Super Mario? Mario Kart 64, as well as the Ghost Valley tracks from, you know, Super Mario Kart. So, that's as far as I can usually think about it. So either way, yeah, between the forms of Mario Circuit, as well as Toad Harbour tracks, and even in addition with Twisted Mansion, I remember back in the day as well, they did manage to able to actually showcase off those three tracks, all in one particular Grand Prix, races, as far as I'm aware, back in E3 2013, like when the game first announced it back then. They did manage to showcase off like 3 tracks in this one particular run-through, which is of course Mario Circuit, Toad Harbour, and Twisted Mansion, because of the actual like to demonstrate of how the anti-gravity function actually works, which to me is pretty cool though, because either way though, it wasn't until whenever we able to actually realize about the fact that, well, as far as I've noticed something, Sylvester, is that, you know how the fact that in the E3 version of this game, on the Wii U version most likely in 2013, they did manage to heavily borrow some sound effects from the likes of Mario Kart 7 almost, because of the actual starting racing portion, as well as the actual countdown of the actual race or something like that. But I'm guessing it's far from the case from that point, which either way, relatively speaking, is the fact that there's this YouTube channel called Mario Kart Gamer Dude, which basically what he can do, that he managed to able to actually do a retrospective of the previous Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series recently, which somehow he just managed to able to do it in the reverse order rather than the actual proper order. But I'm guessing it's probably because of how the fact that they need to look back upon the most recent Mario and Sonic game, or even especially noticeable all the way up to the oldest Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games game. So even then though, he started things off with Rio 2016, and then after that it was Sochi 2014, after that it was London 2012, and after that it was Vancouver 2010 Olympic Winter Games, and finally the Beijing 2008, the original Olympic Games. So, well, in terms of for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series, as far as at this point in time, which is pretty cool though, because that way it'll give us enough time to able to actually play through, you know, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. So, kudos to that. So anyways though, now we're on to the final track in the Flower Cup, and that is Shy Guy Falls. So, pretty cool track though, I have to say, because it, for one thing, it has a plentiful of Shy Guys managed to able to work out on that specific machinery and stuff. It kind of reminds me of almost related to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs briefly, with those 7 dwarfs working in the actual mines or anything like that, except the fact that, well, to be honest, Sylvester, about the fact that there was actually waterfalls, so... But anywho though, I guess I suppose the final thing we can able to discuss upon the actual news and updates and all that stuff is that, spoiler warning for those who have not even heard about this, is that apparently though, the final 3 guest characters are going to be confirmed for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 at this rate in time. Those are Wendy O. Koopa, SBO the Chameleon, and the newcomer to the lineup is Toadette. So let's discuss them all of them whenever we're able to actually, like, well, after all, it's Sylvester's turn to able to actually deal with the actual controlling for the actual game, whilst for me, I'm going to be doing some commentary and stuff. So, as far as, like, the events, as far as I'm aware, for the actual choices, SBO the Chameleon is going to be once again going to take place in triple jump, similar to the ones in the Wii U version of Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games and stuff like that. And also, same applies for Wendy O. Koopa, which she also going to be participating in exactly the same event as the forms of Rio 2016 version, and that was the fact that she's going to be taking place in 100-meter freestyle swimming. And finally, the forms of Toadette, the actual newcomer to the roster, she's going to be participating for not 4 times 100-meter relay, because, well, unlike in the previous installment, Rio 2016, that Toad is the only one who can able to do 4 times 100-meter relay. Instead, it was actually going to take place in 110-meter hurdles, which is, to me, pretty unusual, I have to say, for this matter though, because I was expecting about the fact that I keep on thinking of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for some reason, about the fact that in that particular game you can't able to jump at all for both Captain Toad and Captain Toadette, but somehow Toadette can't able to actually jump over hurdles apparently, which, either way though, apologize for the actual spoiler warning for those of you who have not even to actually just to realize about the fact that, well, I totally forgot to able to actually just keep that a top secret, which either way, well, it's usually happened, it already happened right about now, thanks to the forms of the Mario Wikipedia and stuff like that, so... But either way though, that pretty much takes care of the forms of the Flower Cup, as you can clearly see, and we must have did this in a flawless run-through so far. Well, the only flawless run we have not done for our own time, which is of course the Star Cup in 150cc, which we could able to do that on during the forms of like 2 weeks time, and during the weekend uploading schedules, which sure enough, that'll be the case though, because either way though, we're able to actually get these Let's Plays done before we move on to the next set of new ones. But either way, all first place in all 4 of those tracks and all that stuff, so yeah, we did manage to dominate it through everything. So, yeah, I guess that's 2 cups down and only 10 more to go because, you know, this game does have, like, a lot of variety when it comes to, like, cups and everything. So, look at that glorious flower cup right there. And we actually unlock something by collecting 1,050 coins. Even though we haven't gone back into this game quite often, most notably because we just got really into the forms of other Nintendo Switch games, like, for instance, you know, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and also same applies for Super Mario Odyssey, which, at this point in time, specifically on Tuesday and stuff like that, Mario needs to definitely get back into it at some point. So, yeah, I guess that pretty much takes care of this point right there, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, as we mentioned before, that we're able to actually definitely come back to this game until let's just say in 2 weeks' time, because, you know, we need to take care of the actual Super Mario Galaxy 2 Let's Play to end, you know, for the next week or something like that. So, yeah, join us next time on Let's Play Mario Kart 8 / Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Is that we are going to be moving on now to the Star Cup in 150cc. So, yeah, I guess that pretty much checks out from here. So, see you guys next time. Later, fellas. Yeah, if you excuse me, I'd like to get some more chili dogs.